All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because in today's video, what we're talking about is my dividend portfolio specifically, where we are going to be reinvesting our Yieldmax dividends. So in this video, you can see here I make $230 every single month. That's not all from Yieldmax. What I make some money on from Yieldmax is in Coney, about $10.77. Not TSLY, SQY, $35.58. And then from TSLY, I make $55.65. And the reason why we're talking about this is I want to reinvest my Yieldmax dividends into this third week, a stock that pays in this third week. Currently, I have all my more so long-term holdings. I have ADC, EPR, and Stag Industrial, but I want to find a dividend stock which will pay me before my clip dividend, something that I can invest into so then I could take those earnings and reinvest into clip. This is multiple times a month we're looking to compound our dividends, but currently, the only kind of suggestions that I really have would be USOY, which is an ETN, which is potentially pretty risky. And then I also have the curve ETFs, which would fall under TSLA or Tesla. But this is why I need your help. I need all of you, 3,871 subscribers. Please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so, to hopefully give me some suggestions on where I could invest my Yieldmax dividends. But in this video, what I do want to talk about is why I'll probably be leaning more so reinvesting into USOY. And I understand it's an ETN, a cover call ETN, which is decently risky. I'm going to go over some of the risks of that. And I'm going to talk about why this is looking like my best investment. But if you guys have anything below, I want you to comment that down below. And I could potentially make a video on any stocks that you request to potentially invest in. So if that does sound good, please do remember to stick it around. You already know how many subscribers we have, so let's get into this video. So I'm looking to take my Yieldmax dividends and reinvest them somewhere else. Currently from Yieldmax, I should be receiving roughly about $100 or so just in, actually today is January 9th. So I should be receiving about $100 from the Yieldmax funds, and I want to reinvest them quickly into something that would likely pay in the third week. Now I understand that USOI doesn't pay in the third week. It pays in the fourth week of January, but I would potentially be looking to reinvest my dividends because I know that I will be paid before clips dividend. Now for USOI, what I do want to mention is it is an ETN, and somewhere up here I do have Credit Suisse's kind of page here for USOI, which is weird because I thought USOI was bought out by ABS, I'm pretty sure, or UBS, pardon me. But on their website, on USOI's website, it still mentions Credit Suisse, which is very interesting. But I'm just going to roll with that. So Credit Suisse apparently has an ETN called USOI, or it's UBS. And currently they're trading at about $70 a share. Now, for those of you who don't know, that USOI actually tracks the USO, United States Oil Fund, and that's where it writes its covered calls. Now, you could see from kind of the max chart history here that USOI really does track USO. And let's go to something more short term, going to the year, and see how they kind of compare here. I haven't really checked it over for myself. You can see a little bit of kind of like back and forth between going up and down. It had a little bit of an uptrend here into September, and then down back where we are sitting at in January. We could see here USOI, for the most part, kind of followed that suit and went up and down and all around, then went back up as USO did. And currently, we're sitting roughly at about $70 or so, which is closer to the lower markers that we've seen all year. And generally, when USOI hits about the $70 marker, it tends to rebound. Now, in terms of my USOI position, what I do want to show you here is that I'm actually I only own about 2 shares, and the reason being is because USOI is a pretty like risky fund in my opinion. You can see 2 shares right here, and I'm going to show you an average share price of about $83.33. Now, over this time, I have been receiving a lot of dividends. Getting into a fun part here, if you guys are still with me, is looking over how much they've paid in dividends. They've paid dividends since 2017. Now, understand in 2017 they were a lot higher price stock, and they had a extremely massive dip in 2019. I'm sure there was a couple stock splits and things in between here, but you could see if this is just the stock price chart, I'm not necessarily sure. I'm sure you guys could fill me in the comments if you guys can kindly so do. But they were trading about $400, dropped all the way down to about $100 or so. They've traded up to about $115 and then tracked down to where we are currently at $70. But for the most part, I find this USOY trades sideways. And since 2017, we've seen a lot of dividends. We've seen 36 in 2017, $50 in 2018, $73 in 2019, and the list kind of goes on from there. They've paid a lot less in 2021 and 2022, but you got to remember, oil actually went negative in, I think it was 2020 or 2021, and so that is probably the result, or this massive downtrend is probably the result of that. But nevertheless, they still pay some amazing dividends, and I'm pretty sure if we could find their maturity, because all ETNs kind of have a maturity, a date that they are set to close. It says I cannot find anything here, but I'm pretty sure it's about still 20 years away or so. But the thing is with ETNs, that ETNs can actually be closed pretty much at any time by the issuer. Now, one thing that is pretty risky about these ETNs is that they could be closed at any time and could potentially be closed worthless. So note, I just want to read here, an issuer may call the note as known as accelerated redemption. That means like closing it, accelerated redemption, by returning the value of the noteless fees. Now, I don't know if that means that they will return nothing to you. They might just take USOY away. Is it worth your investment? I say definitely not a huge investment to put into USOY. But when we're talking about our dividends, when we're talking about $100 received every single month, and I'm looking to put it in a place where it does pay high dividends, currently USOY probably pays about a 15% dividend or so, nothing crazy, 13%, but it's been significantly less than previous months where we've seen as high as $1.85, $1.30, like we've been seeing in kind of like the Yieldmax funds, but it obviously has a much greater share price. But nonetheless, this is potentially where I'm looking to put my Yieldmax dividends. I didn't want to necessarily make this a long video, just want to make it a short little video about why I'm potentially putting it into USOY. And if you guys have any other dividend suggestions on this third week of January or even the fourth week, please do let me know. Please do leave me a comment. I'll be obviously looking out for those, so thank you in advance. And yeah, this has kind of been how much I'll be receiving from you, my Yieldmax investments, where I'm looking to put them. I'm not necessarily looking to put them in the Curve ETFs, just due to the fact that I feel like they're the same as investing in the Yieldmax ETFs. So why would I want to kind of put my eggs all into one basket when I could put it somewhere else instead? Even though I do understand it is an ETN and it is risky, so something I do have to keep track of. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please do remember to subscribe. What's wrong with subscribing? We're up to 3,871 subscribers. I want to say thank you guys for watching. I'm looking forward to see what you guys say, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.